So, in that comment that you saw, it said, "What cube do I recommend?" Now, I can't tell you what cube you use, but he did say recommend, which I do recommend a couple cubes, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say really, this like really emphasized. It depends on your turning style and what you like in a cube. So if you had a pass cube, let's say you were using, I don't know, Tornado V2 for a while, I would probably recommend you the Tornado V3, V4, V5, or really any upgraded version of the Tornado. But all, but there's also all arounders. But like I said, it really depends on what you like in a cube and what your turning style is. So let's do a deep dive. So the cube I would personally recommend to a lot of people if you have light turning is the GAN 16, and the GAN V100. Now personally, I would choose the V100. It is cheaper out of the bunch. You can get maglev UV for only $40, not including shipping. You can also get a spring edition, which is the Leap. I think the Leap Frosted is also springs. You can also get maglev frosted. If let's say you're just getting into cubing, I feel like this would be a perfect fit for you. You don't have to worry about too much going on in this. You have tons of customizability, so as you get better, you can adjust the cube to get better with you. The GAN 16, it's the perfect cube. The only problem is the price. If GANs weren't so expensive and hold their price well, this cube would genuinely be probably one of the best cubes of all time. I don't understand why people are putting 2 stars. Yeah, they're saying this, but it's probably on them. But this cube is perfect from what I've heard. It's amazing quarter cutting, good control. And the best thing I've heard about it so far was when you do something right, it feels like it rewards you. I mean, this is what you would probably want out of a good cube. But personally, I don't want those two. If I was gonna go for it again, for my style, I'd probably go for the GAN 15 maglev. The GAN 15, honestly, if you see my turning style, I definitely wouldn't be fit for a GAN 15. But the GAN 15, from what I've heard and what I've seen, it looks like probably one of the best cubes out there for if you're not trying to just if you don't want to get a V100 for some odd reason. I've even tested a V100 before, but a V100 is great. It's a good cube. It's literally GAN 16, lower price, lower tech. That's all the V100 is. It is just a GAN 16 with less customizability to it. GAN 15. Wait, no, the V100 is, yeah. The GAN 15, you look at this. The GAN 15, I've heard it's good. I don't fully know. A lot of people prefer to add the spring mod by LBL Designs because it makes it more controllable, but it's 60 grams. Yeah, I mean, it has maglev core magnets, but it is $70. That is the only thing that holds me back from buying really most GAN cubes that aren't the V100. I use the 11M Pro. But I've also heard that the GAN 12 maglev is pretty great. It holds the current single world record. The GAN 16 holds the average world record, though, for 3x3. You look at the GAN 12, it was the first cube with maglev. It weighs 66 grams. It is probably one of the best cubes out there. That is surprisingly older than the rest. You know, Theodore Zader used the maglev UV to get his 2.76 world record. Now, I do love GAN, but I'm not a GAN glazer. As much as I love GAN, they also do mess up, which we've seen in the 14. 14 and 13 are described as the meh once you reach reach them. That's why the 11, the first cube with core magnets, was highly regarded. The 12, the first cube with maglev, was highly regarded. And then you reach the 15, which had all the tech from the previous lines, but weighed 60 grams, which was really light. Like, that is really light. A lot of cubes now don't even weigh close to that. They weigh like 70. Another cubes that I can recommend is the RS3M V5 with the ball core, right? That's a big part. Or the Weilong V10 and V11. Now, I'm not gonna do V10. It literally is V11, but worse. You look at this. The V11 has 20 magnet ball core. You can get it with maglev, UV, 8 magnet. It has a bunch of customizability to it. Do you want something different? Yeah, you can get something different. If you don't want to have just a basic version, you could spend some more money for a special edition. I don't know what's different. Get a Cubicle Pro Shop. I'm guessing the Cubicle adds their loops to it. Not sponsored. But honestly, I would probably go for this $50 version. This $50 version, I've heard, is probably one of the best Moy used since a long time. I've heard it's better than the Super Owl that's out right now. I've heard the Owl is a disappointment for what it is. It has the old piece design, but it's definitely not, well, deserving to be up there, I've heard. Another cube that I recommend is the Ferrocore. The Ferrocore, I mean, just look at it. It's the Ferrocore. If you know, it comes pre-lubed with Cubehead setup. If you don't know Cubehead, he owns the national record for Belgium, which he did a 5-second solve. Now, looking at this, you can also get the Fair Yo Core. The Fair Yo Core is basically a higher upgrade version. It says the same thing as the regular factory in the description, but I'm guessing you get more out of getting the Fair Yo Core. Now, if you're wondering why it's called Ferrocore, Fe is iron, and it uses an iron core, which is what it's known for. Another reason I also recommend RS3MV5. It's a good starter cube. It's not gonna be, I mean, yeah, you can use it up there. I think Luke Garrett or Greiser used it for when they were reaching up there with the 5-second solves. But honestly, I feel like this wouldn't be the best cube for that. I have heard the corner cutting is a little bit not up there when you start reaching better and better. Same way with the Weilong. It's has the 8 magnet ball core, maglev, UV, tons of options. Now let's go on to another brand I would also say is YJ, just because some of their big cubes are good. I know their mini 4x4. I thought about getting that. That definitely would be good. I also think they have a mini 3x3, which would be perfect if you do one-handed. My old cube, if you know, it's a Chi sale. I found that out after doing research after my other videos. And overall, I probably would recommend, I would only recommend Chi cubes as a gift. Same for like Dian Shang. But you can also get some Moyu WCA kits that come with 2x2s all the way to 7x7 or Mega Minx, Pyramixes, Square Ones. Personally, I would go for X-Men design. That's what I personally want. I want a V5, but I've heard their V4 and V3 is pretty good for what it is. Pretty good, honestly. If you look at it, the V5 Pioneer, which is the one I want, it's a decently priced for what they're saying. What people are saying could compete with the Weilong V11 or GAN 16. it has parts of like a V11, like 20 magnet all core maglev. The more you look at it, I would say that I've heard this is better. I've heard that when solving, it feels like it helps you, which I think would be good for my aggressive turning style. The V3 and V4. I know the V4 Pioneer is used by Max Park right now, which I definitely would recommend that with the V5. Those two. I don't recommend any V3s as they are becoming outdated more and more every day. Another cube I do recommend though, I'm gonna say this, is a Huangmeng TG V2. Now it's definitely better than the V1 and the YS3M. I love the YS3M. I gotta use the YS3M once, and I was like, dang, I really didn't get that. But for $60, you get what is a 20 magnet ball core UV, and the Huameng series is set up by Yu Shengdu. Now Yu Shengdu is one of the previous world record holders. He did a 3-second solve, and it was the first one ever done, which was kind of seen as weird as he wasn't one of the best solvers back then. They thought it was sketchy. I mean, there was only one clip of him ever getting that solve, and that solve was officialized though, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, it does seem real, even if he wasn't recording. But I mean, not many people recording. I mean, it's not like it's Felix Zemdegs where he broke many world records, so he knows to record if he might wreck one. But it's definitely better than a couple other cubes. Enough about more Tianma X3. It is probably, if you look at the reviews, they say it is really underrated for what it is. The only thing is this long review. I just don't understand why complains. You can tighten it up, try thicker lube, but it just feels like it just results in you turn harder to. So looking at this, it definitely, for what it is, I definitely say it's pretty good. You probably have to set it up, which would make sense for a cube. It says the gross weight of overall is 123 grams. I don't know how much comes with it. It might just be the box, the cube. It might have extra parts. So I'm guessing this cube probably weighs 70, 80 grams. But for what it seems like, yeah, 32 magnet ball core maglev, it seems probably like one of the best cubes you could get. But I'm gonna be honest, another thing you could do is mod a cube. Now, not all cubes can be modded the same. That's the thing. So let's say you get a cheaper version of the R3M or the Weilongs. They can be modded because, I mean, it's just it's a worse version of the main cube that was purposely meant to be bought. You can get a Weilong V11 only with the magnetic UV, but you can buy parts like the ball core and just add it to there. But the only problem is when you mod these, you need to know how to do it right. For example, Weilong 3MV2, it has magnets UV coated, but what I've seen some people do is what they'll do is they'll give it the R3M magnet kit and make it better. Another thing I've also heard of I've seen people do is add the R3MV5 ball core. So I'm gonna wrap the video up here, but make sure you have your options expandable and look at reviews pretty often. Since I'm gonna end it here, I'm gonna just make sure to tell you, when you want to buy a cube, watch reviews, know what you like about your cube, and how your turning style is. Is it light? Do you like? Is it aggressive like mine? So see you later. This was PQCam. Make sure to like and subscribe.